Starting now.
This meeting is being recorded.
Wonderful. Welcome. This is Mary.E.Knippel, and I am welcoming you to our first call for Volume 2 of Written in Her Own Words. And the gals who are already enrolled in this class and said, yes, I'm going to write a chapter. Ingrid had a death in the family, and she is not able to attend. And Connie Ruth had a doctor's appointment that she had to miss us. But we have Christy here, and we will go over the basics, and I will put this recording in the Facebook group and on the private page on the website so that you can access it and listen to what came up in the first call, and let us know if there's something else that we can address for you to be a participant here in Written in Her Own Words. So Katrina, would you like to introduce yourself, because Christy doesn't know you, and then Christy will introduce herself.
Sure. So hello, I am actually the person who's going to help publish the book. I helped publish the last book. And so I am a business coach primarily, have worked with Mary in the past, but I also have a publishing company because I do so many books. It just makes sense. It's cheaper. And so I love to help the publishers, people that do books, especially compilation books, get it done with a better timeline and make sure that we cross all the T's and then we do a launch. And so I do the launch. Last time we did international bestseller. All the books that I've done have gone international bestseller. So that's exciting because I can, almost guarantee that's probably what we'll get, especially when so many people are marketing the book. And so I help create the marketing copy and some of the images and things that we do for the launch, but also along the process, I talk to you, the authors, and give tips on your chapter. After Mary finesses it with your story, then I look at it for reasons of how to, like, if you're a business person, you want to make sure you position yourself well, right? And we want to know what you do. So sometimes when you tell your story, you don't think about those little things. And so I go through the stories to look at, do we look as you an expert? Now that you brought us through your story, are you bringing it around to show credibility to where you're at now and what you're doing? Some people aren't business people that are in this book, which is fine too, but we still want to position yourself as somebody that people might want to reach out to. So then I show you how to create pages on your website to have call to action if that's something that you want to do from this book. It doesn't have to be, but it's how to finesse the chapter or the call to action or your story so that people might want to go, oh, I want to meet Christy, or I want to meet so-and-so, and they look you up somehow. So I help with that. And then how to sell the books later. Some people don't know how to sell books or how to take credit cards or what to do with their books and all that kind of fun stuff. So we give lots of ideas.
Yeah, we're a power team.
I with all that.
Yeah. So yeah, any of the all of the above. So we got you covered.
Christy, would you like to introduce yourself?
Yeah. So I'm Christy Cassette. I'm brand new to this process. I met Mary through an author in the last book, Laura Ann Garris, and I attended Mary's last writing retreat just a month or so ago and got to meet Ingrid. And I am, signed up to write a chapter for the book. It's really just my personal story about the birth of my son. My middle son has Down syndrome, and so my goal with it, long story short, is it was a really difficult experience. As soon as the doctors found out that he had Down syndrome, we learned about it when he was in utero. They immediately shoved us down a path pushing abortion. And we learned that if we didn't choose that route, that there wasn't a lot of resources or compassion or support available. And we had to find all of those resources on our own. So my goal with writing this chapter is, number one, so future diagnosis in utero will not be an automatic death sentence, and in hopes that, providers will stop having that bias, but also to call out different resources to parents who are facing a diagnosis, or even people who know of someone who's facing a diagnosis to offer their support. And then I'm planning to point them to a few resources. And I've never created a website. So I've been coaching with Mary, and Mary's been mentoring me, I should say, and I'm struggling to create my website. I'm finding that they're a lot more expensive than I expected, unless I want to create it myself. And I just don't have the time or the ability or the desire to do it. Plus, but I want it to be excellent at the same time. So I'm trying to figure out what makes sense. So I don't know how much detail you want, but I tried to do it with GoDaddy since I bought my domain. GoDaddy would not let me modify my templates at all. So I set up an appointment to talk to one of their people, and they said, oh, don't use GoDaddy. You can pay me and I will create for you a website in WordPress. It's only going to cost you $2,500. I was like, okay, no thanks.
I've got ideas
And
for
then-
you. Yeah, get out of WordPress or get out of GoDaddy, and I've got other ideas. So you don't have a business, and this is a book. Do you have a job or a business? You don't have a business.
Say that again.
So now, Christy, talk about your next position and who you are wanting to focus on for your ideal client.
Yeah, so I don't currently have a business, but I'm planning to start one. I'm a corporate executive, so I'm about to start a role as a vice president of back office operations for payments, billing, collections. They call it order to cash within a corporation. I've been in the corporate world my entire career, and what I have found is that typically mentors or people who I follow are always advocating for people to be an entrepreneur, how to quit your job and start a company, et cetera. Where I'm planning to do this more as a side gig, I'd like to offer coaching to corporate women who, maybe they need confidence coaching, maybe they need help, climbing the corporate ladder, maybe they need help dealing with how it's largely a male-dominated industry. How do I get out? How do I stand out? How do I build up the confidence to say, to speak up in the room, have a seat at the table? And so I'm considering like executive coaching, business coaching, confidence coaching. I haven't quite identified my niche, but I know I want to support women who are maybe a few years prior to me, or 5 to 10 years prior to me, or have a specific goal in mind to expand their career. And I want the website to be a place for people to contact me about Down syndrome, just to find resources and support. But I also want them to be able to find me for different coaching or career support, or living in the corporate world, and have some type of a free gift, some type of a course maybe, and then offer coaching packages online.
Perfect.
Mm-hmm.
Good.
Yeah.
I have a client that does similar stuff. I have a couple actually. So you want a full-on website, and when you're looking at corporate, it's $2,500 to $3,500 for a website, and that's just the cost of doing business these days. You can do a cheaper one through like your emails. Like there's a couple systems like System.io or MailerLite that give you the CRM, the email marketing, and web pages. But I would say that's a temporary solution. If you're really serious about building a business, you want a WordPress site. So that person is 100% right. But I would not trust somebody who works for GoDaddy and is trying to get you to their thing. So I got plenty of other web designers that we can connect.
I knew that you would have a resource and we'll get her set up. So, but she had some ideas about her offer or her freebie for the website. So why don't you go through that list, because it may spark any of our other authors who are looking for an idea for their free gift.
Well, so I am struggling with what to offer for a free gift for women in the corporate world who would potentially be looking for a coach of some kind. So I thought about things like maybe a checklist to accomplish, pick a topic. I haven't picked one. Maybe a recipe for success of these are the ingredients to accomplish something. Possibly a list of resources or recommended products or services for various topics, or a quiz of some kind. Again, I don't have a topic. I'm really struggling with how to narrow that down and what to come up with.
First of all, I would say don't narrow it. And because you're going to take them to a page where you can do a lot of different things. So you can have a video there that, hey, if you resonate with my story, and you might have and you want more information about Down syndrome or struggling with that kind of a pregnancy, click over here and schedule a call if you want, right? If you are in corporate and you heard that, or you read that I also help people in corporate to then I would sign up for this thing, right? So you can have a checklist, you can have a schedule call, you can have a download, you can have another video. I mean, there's a lot of stuff you can do when you take people to just a web page. And the more you offer them as the call to action, the more likely they'll go over and get it. So I think offering 3 things or 4 things is good. Say, hey, I have a resource page that I'm happy to share a few resources, not only on Down syndrome and, parenting, things like that, or birth, then as well as what I do in my business, helping corporate women, So just
Okay.
say that at the
Okay.
end. Mhm.
Yeah. So we can work on language for that, Christy.
But
'Cause
that also,
I knew,
you're going to want to seed it in a little bit, your story. So
right.
Mary knows how to do that. So make sure you see
Yeah.
that.
So once, and so that's the other thing is once we get solid about what we're leading them to, then we can go back to the chapter as well as your About Me page and your offers on the website. So the thing now is for us to get clear about, and you are clear about who you want to be targeting on the website and who your audience is in the chapter in the book. But you don't have any questions about your chapter because you are very clear of the story that you're telling, right? Right.
Yes, and it's already did a few times I used, so I think
and we have had a couple drafts already. So
good.
I'm confident that you're clear about your chapter.
Mhm.
And we do have the guidelines posted on the Facebook page as well as a private page on the website that I'm sharing with the authors. But for anyone who is watching this and considering being part of Written in Your Own Words Volume 2, this is your chance to tell your transformational story, something that happened in your life that changed the trajectory of who you are. And you're at the point where I learned so much when I went through this, and I'm feeling that I want to get this out there. And this, Written in Your Own Words, is your vehicle to share your story with the world. It's not focused on, hey, yeah, I have a business and I want to talk about my product. It's you talking about how you got to be who you are and what you have to offer with the world, to the world. So after watching this, you want to reach out to me and have another conversation, about a longer conversation about how you can participate. I'd love to hear from you. So, Christy, do you have anything that you want to add? Any more questions? Katrina, do you want to add anything? Good. Go, Christy.
I was just gonna say I would love to hear more from Katrina of like just either action steps I could take, or how do I get in touch with that person to build my web page, and how do I get clarity on like the offer that I want to get, the offers that I would want to give? What's the best approach?
Well, these calls, we can help you work that out. That's why I'm here and I'm part of the process. So I'm here to help brainstorm those options here. When we have a lot more authors on the call, obviously we're not going to get in depth to web building stuff. So you and I can have a call outside of that if you want, for website building and what that might look like, and yeah, or other business building things, because it's I know people that want to build a side business. They don't want to spend a lot of money, but I mean, if you don't invest the right money into a business, it's not going to go anywhere, right? So I'm all about building the business the most affordable way possible. Trust me on that. I don't want you to spend, right, Mary? Like, I'm
right.
Like, stop spending this. I just had a client right before this that I was like, oh my God, stop paying for email at GoDaddy, get out of 365. All you need is this, and it's going to forward to that, and you don't have to pay that. And I'm going to save her like $700 a year just for that thing, just for that one little advice, right? Like,
Yes. Yes.
Until I know what
Yeah.
people are doing, like, trust me, I want you to do the bare minimum of expenses. But some things are critical to seeing success. So your website is one of those things these days.
Yeah. The website is one of those things.
You have to
Yes.
look like you know your shit. Yeah.
Yes. And the book comes out in September, but
Like-
you'll have your website up and running, and you'll have blogs that you're reaching people with your message long before that. Yes.
You could get clients before that if we were
You could get clients before that.
get to working on that. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. So I think that we're going to wrap up this call. It's short and sweet, because I'm happy that we had one of our new authors, a brand new author, here on the call with us, and she's excited to get started, and I'm excited to get started with anyone else who wants to come on board to be part of Written in Her Own Words, because it's time for you to tell your story and to be an author in 2023, and we can make that happen together. We can make that happen. So thank you all for joining us today, and we'll see you next time. Wait.
Thank you.
I was gonna say, Christy, I have time right now if you wanted to just jump on a call.
Yeah, I just have to drop at like 12:55 Central.